Hi, you all. Welcome to my first podcast video. If I'm being honest with y'all, I'm kind of nervous but really excited. Please do not mind the noise in the background. There's like dogs and other stuff like that. But this is my first video and I'm so excited. But also welcome to the podcast. This is Innovative Life Podcast. If you've known my podcast from Instagram, it used to be the Girl Chat. Um and basically I just decided to change the name because I feel like that name was um going specifically for girls, and this is not that because I want to spread the word to boys and girls. And then I noticed boys will also follow me and boys will also be a part of the chat. And I was like, this is not that type of podcast. This is a podcast for boys and girls. I don't feel like the word is just for girls. The word is for boys and girls. And it being innovative is because being innovative is coming up with a better idea or being creative. There's so many definitions of being innovative, being purposeful, and all that. And in a way, I want to be innovative through Christ. So that's what this podcast is about. And I hope that you all subscribe. Please, please, please subscribe for me. Please share it to your friends, your family, and just show me as much love and support, you guys. That will mean so much to me. That would mean a lot to me, actually. That would mean so much to me. Please subscribe, y'all. Subscribe. And, we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep getting better. I'm just so grateful that God has put me in a position where I'm able to do this, and He has called me to walk in my purpose, and I am fulfilling that purpose with everything I have. If you don't know me, my name is Kamora Uck. I'm 17 years old. Oh, gee, it's so crazy for me to say that. And as the title of this video is me telling my testimony, because what better for me to introduce myself than by telling you all things that I've been through and telling my story and just telling about myself. So that's why I decided me telling my testimony is going to be the first part of this video. I'm so sorry if you guys hear my necklace. Maybe I should take it off. I don't know. I'm just going to tuck it in because I feel like y'all hear a lot of that. Yeah, y'all. So why was it like so crazy for me to say my age? Because I used to lie about my age so much, so much, and a lot of people probably didn't know the truth, and now they know the truth. So, and it's crazy because the age that I am now, I used to lie about that age when I was much younger. Okay, so let's get into the testimony. Wow, it goes way back, y'all. So before I go into telling my testimony, I want to say that I always feel like throughout the years I changed drastically, but I specifically changed so much when I found Christ. He changed me tremendously so much. But throughout the years, it's like every year I became a different person. Only could have been God, and He prepared me to get to know Him. Okay. Oh wow. So going back to when I was little, I used to have a dad that I thought was my dad, but he really wasn't my dad. And so my mom, she was stuck between two dudes that she thought was my dad. And one raised me all the way up to around like 5 or 7, 5 or 7. And I was really attached to this person. And then I found out that he wasn't my dad. And then my biological dad, he entered my life and he started raising me from there. I love my biological dad so 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 much. That man is amazing. I love my biological dad. He is so amazing. Um, but growing up, with me getting to learn my biological dad and me learning him and me trying to build a relationship with him wasn't there because he was in a relationship at the time and he was running a business and his main focus wasn't to build that relationship within me. So, yeah, that played a huge part in a lot of things that I've been through. So, fast forward me growing up with my mom, and y'all, disclaimer, sorry for all the noise going on in the back. Once again, I apologize for all the noise going on in the background. But huge disclaimer. Um yeah, back to the story. So fast forward, it's with my mom, and growing up with my mom was getting hit. My mom was abused by her ex-husband for so long, and I grew up watching my mom get hit and abused by her ex-husband, and all the time I would just pray about it until it got to the time where I wanted to fight back, and I fought back. And don't get me wrong, I still prayed about it, but I was fighting back too. And this is something I did because, yeah, like, okay, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was like, okay, at this point, I gotta do something. I need to fight back because I'm praying, yes, but I gotta do something. So that's what I did. I took initiative to fight back. And I seen that go on for so long, and when my mom get hit, she would take her anger out on us, and she'll hit us, and she'll like punch us and stuff like that. So she'll take her anger out on us, and at the time I just felt real sad and real like, I don't know, just real sad because my mom will also call me stupid, dumb, like all this stuff. So like I feel sad because I was helping her when he hit her, but then she'll hit me and say these things about me. And it's so crazy because I remember growing up when they were in a relationship, they will literally have a bond when I'll get hit or when I'll get in trouble. Like that's how they like when they hold up, how can I say this? When they'll get off of their relationship, they'll stop like talking to each other. But as soon as I do something wrong or my sister do something wrong, then they will be back together and like have a bond because we got in trouble or something. Yeah. And oh, by the way, my biological dad, he was in jail at the time, so he didn't have no partake into this situation because he was in jail and he couldn't really do nothing about it. So I was going through that too. So I was really, really sad. And we'll go to school. I remember one time my sister was trying to tell the counselor about it, and I didn't want to tell the counselor about it because I knew I was going to get in trouble. My sister got in trouble, and like if we'll tell people, like my mom would hit us, and then like if the like defects come over, like my mom would tell us what to say. She'll like scare us about the system and sit right there. And if we said something, then we'll get in trouble. So basically, we just couldn't say nothing at all. And I love being with my grandma so, so, so much. And at this time, I cannot be with my grandma. I cannot be with my grandma. I love being with her so much because I love getting away from the house. I love being with my Uncle Alan and my auntie because I just love getting away from the house. So any possible chance that I could get away from the house, I will try to get away from the house because I didn't. want to go through that. And my dad, he was in jail. DFACS couldn't really do anything, so I loved being away from the house. So fast forward a little bit more. My mom, she'll have to work. The husband she was with, he wasn't really doing much working, but he wasn't doing much taking care of like the kids, which is us and my little sisters. He wasn't doing much of anything. So me and my older sister, Savea, will have to take care of my younger sisters, like cook for them, change diapers, and stuff like that. And mind y'all, at this time, I was like in elementary school. Yeah, I was like in elementary school. Probably was like in like fifth grade. My Savea was probably like in sixth grade. So like I was still a kid myself. I was a baby myself, having to take care of babies. And then yeah, we'll have to take care of the kids and just take on this responsibility that wasn't ours. So kind of have this burden that wasn't ours, and it was hard because my mom, she'll always like make us feel so unappreciative. Like I'll just feel so unappreciative of me taking care of the kids, me cleaning up the house. I got to do school too. You're hitting me and you're getting hit. And it wasn't like, how are you all? Are you okay? Or anything like that growing up. Um, so it was a lot as a kid. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I feel like that also played a big part in me entering middle school. So me entering middle school, I still had to take care of my sisters. My mom at this point, she wasn't really with her husband at this point. She wasn't with her husband that was hitting her. She was working, and she'll be with dudes, but they wouldn't be her husband. And this played a big part in me growing up fast, being fast, because I had to take care of my sisters. I had the privilege of being home alone and just being exposed to stuff that I had no business being exposed to. Um, yeah, so like I did not do a good job taking care of my sisters. Like I'm not gonna lie, I did my best, like cooking for them, cleaning for them. But my mindset now with my sisters is so much better than how it was then. Cause mind y'all, I was still a kid, so a lot of mistakes that I've done then, it'll be like, dang, I really did that. Like, wow. So yeah, so when it came to taking care of my sisters, it was really like OMG, it was a mess. But yeah, I was in middle school around this time, taking care of my sisters, so they was helping me. I got exposed to boys, and I used to go to this place. It's like a skating ring. If you ever been to a skating ring, and after they're done skating, you know what happens after they're done skating. It's like a little party and stuff like that. So I used to go there a lot. Skate Zone in Mount Zion. I'm from the south side, y'all. So yeah. But Skate Zone on Mount Zion, and we used to go there a lot, me and my sister. Um we just used to go there a lot. And booty shorts, crop tops, and all this stuff. And then when I went there, I was just exposed to a whole different environment. Like, once I felt that feeling of a boy, I mean, it made me desperate for that in a way. And so, my mom would never like be home for real because she was working. She had four girls and she was a single mom, so we'll have to take care of my sisters and she'll be working. So a lot of times me and my older sister would sneak boys in the house we'll sneak out the house and stuff like that. And at that time, we didn't get caught too much in middle school. We didn't get caught too much in middle. Well, not gonna say in middle school. And when I was in 6th grade and she was in 7th, we didn't get caught too much. But it would. I wasn't too sexually active, like how I became, but I was getting to that point. And in the midst of it, I would have to take care of my little sisters again. And so, fast forward a year later, um, I was just in school, just being fast, being grown. I lost my virginity um, in middle school in 7th grade. I feel like I wanted to fit in a lot. Like, I wanted to fit in a lot and just be this person I wasn't for real. And I just wanted to fit in with this, like, bad girl type of crew. And I just wanted to be this bad girl. And that's not me. If y'all want to know how I looked when I was in 7th grade, 7th grade, y'all, I'll put a picture of me. But yeah, I just wanted to be in this bad girl crew for some reason. And so I'll do like the lashes, I'll do fake piercings, and then finally I was able to get a real piercing. I started piercing my body. I started to just act a mess. I just started to act a mess. And yeah, and then coronavirus came around this time. I was in 8th grade, and basically, this 8th grade was the grade I just started to act wild. I was acting up, I was turning up. Um, I'll sneak out the house, sneak to a boy house, because I had daddy issues, y'all. I honestly was looking in love in the wrong places because I was carrying that burden of Terry leaving. Oh, y'all, I'm just saying the names, okay? Let's start. Okay, I can't say everybody's name, but I'm just gonna. This is real. This is me being real. This is the truth of what had happened. The dad that I thought was my dad, his name was Terry, and I was carrying the burden of Terry leaving. So I was trying to find love within dudes by giving my body up, thinking that I'll be able to be in a relationship. Like, if I was to give my body up, then we could have a relationship. Like, once, basically, if we have sex, then that's going to enter a relationship. Like, and my mindset then was, if he see how good this I am at doing this, then we're gonna be in a relationship. And I wanted a relationship so bad. Like, I just wanted a relationship so bad. I wanted that male presence. I wanted that so bad. And mind y'all, my dad was out by this time. My biological dad, he was out by this time. But we didn't have that relationship like we do now. Um, but we never had a bad relationship. We just never spoke on the situation, or we just never like had that relationship where I opened up about this stuff because I was still holding on to Terry. So basically, while I was having those issues, like, Corona was just a horrible time. Um, my uncle Alan died, the one that I told y'all how I love going over to his house when my mom would get hit. He died. And then at 13, I snuck out and I got a tattoo. I got this big old tattoo on my chest. I snuck out and I got a tattoo. I was just being wild. I stole my mom's car. I stole her car while she was at work. Um, my little sister, like, I would do crazy stuff, like leave my little sister in the pool and leave, or while my little sister in the car. thinking I'm doing the right thing because I was young. While my little sister in the car, I was smoking in the car and thinking like, okay, I'm gonna go to the store, cook for them, buy some groceries and cook for them. Mind you, I was only 13. Buy some groceries and cook for them, and it'll be okay. But I didn't even know like you could get high off contacts, so like I'll just do foolish stuff, and I really didn't know, and I like mess with dudes, and I went through this whole like this is all in quarantine, y'all. Like coronavirus, this is all in quarantine. People was inside, I was outside. Like people was inside and I was outside, and I was outside for real, outside. And I was just wild. Like my mom, my dad couldn't handle me. Um, I was getting exposed on the internet. I messed with a dude and he exposed me having sex with him. And it went super duper viral. Like if you live in Atlanta, some people still know me till this day and they see how much I've grown and be so proud of me. Um but it went super viral, and I felt a lot of people was judging me around that time, and they didn't know me, and it was bad. Like I never wanted to kill myself. Even within everything I've been through, I never wanted to kill myself, y'all. And I've been through more than what I'm telling you. Like more than what I'm saying right now. I've been through way more. I'm just giving you all the highlights of everything. And I didn't even want to kill myself then, but when I went with that stuff on the internet, I kind of wanted to kill myself. And I was just in my room, laying in the dark. I was sad, super sad that that happened. A lot of people was spreading a lot of rumors about me. It was a lot. It was TikToks made about me. It was just a lot. Text messages. I still have some text messages till this day because I have the same Instagram. But yeah, it was a lot. A lot of people threats. Like I had social anxiety. Go out, I'll get jumped. I was jumped. I was jumped because then I couldn't control how I felt. I couldn't control my emotions. So people would talk about me and I'll say something back, and then I got jumped, and I thought it was like, yeah, that's a whole different story for a different day, but it was a lot. And then I would like be rude to people, not like be rude to people as if like I'm saying rude stuff, but I'll be rude to people where my energy and like how now I am like happy and enthusiastic. I'll just shush and like have that weird vibe, and because I feel like everybody is like after me and they're looking at me a certain way, and yeah, I just felt like they were doing that at that time. But when I was 13, it was just a lot, y'all. It was so much. Like, it makes no sense. I was having sex a lot. I was smoking a lot. I started smoking. I loved getting high. I would sneak out. Like, I loved having sex. I loved smoking. I sneaking out. My mom would be worried about me. I'll sneak out 1 o'clock in the morning, sneak out, and she'll be so worried about me. And she just was so frustrated with me. She did not know what to do with me. Like my mom would cry. And yeah. I was wild. I was wild. I was so wild. And I felt bad of how I raised my little sisters because they didn't they didn't deserve that. But at the same time I didn't know no better. So yeah, I didn't know no better. But I'm a better sister now, trust me. I'm a better sister now. But yeah, 13 was wild. Became 14, I was still wild. Um, Sneaking out. I remember at a time I was doing good, and like I was just like not sneaking out as much. Like I wouldn't sneak out as much. Um, I didn't really have to because I had like a sneaky link that was my neighbor. So you wouldn't think I was sneaking out, but I was sneaking out, but I wouldn't sneak out as much. And I was just doing good. And yeah, I was doing okay, decent than before. So at that time, I wasn't really doing much. After I had that sneaky link, me and him stopped talking. And I just remember I was praying to God. I was crying. I was so desperate for a boyfriend. I was crying and praying to God for a boyfriend. Like, I was praying to God to have a boyfriend. Like, on my journey finding Christ, y'all, I never not believed in God. I was just sinning and believing in God. I never had a relationship with God. I used to think I had a relationship with God because I'll always like within everything, within me sneaking out, within me stealing my mom's car, within me being sad and stuff. I always talk to God like, okay, God, so um please don't let me get caught this time. Or okay, God, like thank you for keeping me safe. Like being naive, like thank you for keeping me safe, God. Thank you for letting me get back home. Because I really could have got kidnapped. I really could have got abducted for real. But God kept me safe, and I'll always thank Him for that, and I always pray. So in my mind at that time, I'm thinking like I got a relationship with God, like we got a relationship, like I know God, like I know God. But in reality, no, I did not know God at all. Um, but yes, I was praying for a boyfriend. I was praying for that so bad. So bad. I wanted a boyfriend so bad because I just wanted that male energy like so bad. So I prayed for that. I was crying to God about that. And then I got exactly that. I got exactly that. And this relationship was so toxic. Like this relationship was so toxic, y'all. And this is a whole different story for a whole different day. But it was just a mentally abusive and narcissistic relationship, and he was much older than me. Around that time, I was like 14, and I lied about my age. Yeah, I was 14, and he was teens, but he was like up there. Yeah, he was up there. He was like 18, 19. Yeah. So, yeah, and he never knew my age. Okay? But then he found out my age. But that's a whole different story for a different day. We're not going to say that story, but snuck him in the house. My dad caught me with him. Just a lot. And then I got out of that relationship, and at 15, my Papa Joe passed away. I love my Papa Joe. OMG, it was like, y'all, this is the chain, the necklace that I'm wearing right now is my Papa Joe. I love my Papa Joe so much. Um, so yeah, my Papa Joe passed away. I was heartbroken, and I was kind of talking to the dude, but I wasn't really seeing the dude anymore. And I just remember him telling me, "Well, everybody dies," and that's broke my heart so much because when you want comfort for your from your person. Like at that time, I wanted comfort from my person. That comfort doesn't come from a person; it comes from God. But that's besides the point. We're talking about the old days. So yeah, so my Papa Joe passed away. I was heartbroken. I spent time with my Mimi. My Mimi was grieving. My Mimi is my grandma, and I was really sad. It felt like she passed away because I'll be so sad. My Mimi passed away. God forbid. It felt like she kind of passed away, and it hurt me because one, I love my Papa Joe, but it also hurt me because it hurt her, and that was very hurtful for me, like super hurtful for me. So my godmom, she motivated me a lot to like get on my stuff because she's a celebrity makeup artist, and at the time, like I got caught up in that. And so she motivated me to do something better and get on top of my game. So at this time, I stopped sneaking out and stuff like that. I stopped having sex because the relationship that I was in, we had sex so much that all it was about sex for real, and it was narcissistic. So the communication was not there, and it was just no communication there. Like it was no communication there. Like the communication was, well, I'm not gonna say that's not even communication. The communication, quote unquote communication, was us having sex. So that was us lusting, and yeah, we'll do that to like not think about everything else going on, and that didn't solve nothing. That doesn't solve nothing. And so I kind of felt like it would, and it didn't at all. So yeah, so around that time after that relationship, I stopped having sex. Like that's when I began my celibacy journey. But I thought my celibacy journey was going to be until I get into another relationship. But God, He's so intentional. God is so intentional. He flipped it around and said, "Nope, it's going to be until you get married." Sorry, you all. But yeah, God is so intentional. He said, "Nope, it's going to be until you get married." But we're going to get to that point. So, yeah. Um after him, I was kind of like partying. I was still smoking weed and drinking, and I was partying. Like I would be at college parties, and I was like 15. So I'll be going to college parties. I'll like party and just be outside for real. Yeah, I'll be outside for real. Um, yeah, it was crazy. Oh, it was crazy. Those parties are crazy. And like I've been to like 3 good parties, but those parties aren't really it for real. And in the midst of that, like I got my permit. I took a lash course. I thought I was gonna be a lash technician and like do lashes. So at that time I was doing lashes too. I was doing a lot of edibles and weed and stuff like that. And also I was secular rapping a little bit too. I was secular rapping. And I didn't took my rapping serious, but I was doing it for real. Um whew, y'all, this is a long story. Um but it's the consistent growth of this story. Like each year I'm growing. But yeah, so I was doing the secular rapping a little bit, and I was doing the lashes, and I was partying as well. I was going to school. Oh, forgot to tell y'all this. In coronavirus, I got held back. So I got held back in the 8th grade. So I had to be in the 8th grade again. And around this time, I was supposed to be in ninth grade. So I went back to middle school, and I went to one of the best middle schools of my life, and God was so intentional to put me in that middle school. I feel like I held a big impact on people. I was kind of mean to people a little bit in the beginning, but I like not mean in a way where, okay, I was mean. Let's be honest. Like me not speaking to people is kind of mean. So yeah, I was mean. Um, yeah, I was being mean, and then I loosened up and I became nice. And although I didn't have God, I had a sense of love and I had a sense of gratitude. And I was maturing. Like you could see me maturing around that time because a lot of my experiences, and that's why I say I grew within the years, but I grew so much within God because I was maturing, but I became wise within Christ. So yes, I went to that school. I was doing all these things, partying, doing lashes, smoking, all that. And I was just on a hustle. Like, I would want to, anything I could do, sell candy. Like, I was just so motivated to work and motivated to do something and motivated to blow up or become this successful person. And I'll sell candy, I'll sell snacks at my school so I can invest into my lash products and my lash business. I'll just do anything I can to put myself out there. And I was passing out cards. I was passing out cards and stuff, asking for ambassadors and stuff like that. And so basically, just do anything that I can. I'm trying to work on looking at the camera instead of looking down. But I have to think about the moment. So that's why I'm doing that. But yeah, I was just working on, doing that so much. And in around that time, my mom, she was a little irresponsible. And um we stopped living in our apartment. We started living in a hotel. And I was just so sad about that. And I was so mad. And looking back, I could have been more grateful because it's like, okay, there's people on the street. There's people on the street. There's people dead. You still with your family. I could have been more grateful. But I was just so disappointed in her at that time. I was so disappointed and so mad because it's like you you're just so irresponsible with your money, and I was disappointed in her at that time, where it's not like I didn't say anything to her, but when I feel some type of way, y'all, my mouth just shush. Like, I just shush. Just shush. So that's something that we had going on also when I was in school, and this was like at the end of the school year. And like I said, my Papa Joe passed away. And when it came to that, my mom, she was also being rude. Like, my mom, we didn't have a good relationship then either. Like, our relationship has its turns, and we didn't have a good relationship then. So I was telling the counselor about what was going on because she wanted to know what was going on with my grades and why I was coming late to school, because I used to take the bus. And she was just trying to figure out like what was going on and why my grades was bad, because my grades usually never been how they were. And I was telling the truth with her. She was like, okay, Kamar, do you need any help? And mind you, everybody in my school is super duper supportive. They're so loving. I love them. Till this day, I love them. Like, I love this school. I love this school till this day. I love these people. But the counselor called my mom and was just asking her like, do you need any help and stuff like that. And I was in the bathroom. I was depressed. I was crying in the bathroom, and just because I was sad about everything that was going on, and I was just trying to stay positive. And me and my mom got into it, and she kicked me out, and she called me the B word. She smacked me and all this stuff, and she kicked me out. And then I went to move with my godmom for a little bit, and I finished the school year there. Then I stayed back with my dad. Y'all, why I used to live with my dad. I used to live around the whole city of Atlanta. Okay. Um, why I stopped living with my dad? That's a whole different story for a different day. But yes, I used to stay with my dad, and finished the school year out within my dad and my godmom. Back and forth from them two, And it was a absolute pleasure. It was absolute pleasure. So skip a year. I was doing good, not sneaking out, not messing with dudes. I probably was like on the phone with a dude, like talking to dude, but it wasn't like we're in a relationship or anything like that. It wasn't like I wanna like you and stuff like that. Cause I knew at that time I was not ready for a relationship. Like I was not ready for a relationship. I just got out of a relationship. I was not ready for a relationship. I just wanted to work on myself. So moving on forward, I turned 16. Um Wait, hold up. Not no, let me go no further. During that summer, I started rapping, and I was a secular rapper, and I was under management and stuff like that. This was when I was 15. Sorry, I skipped this. And I was under management and stuff like that. And a lot of stuff that she was doing or trying to do for me, I kind of knew like I could do this for myself without having to break a percentage with you and you having to pay for stuff for me, and I have to share my money with you, and you trying to run stuff and it's not how I like it. And so I just kind of, yeah, um stop letting her be my manager. And don't get me wrong, it's all love to her, y'all. Like I'm talking about stuff in the past. Like when I'm talking about stuff in the past, it's specifically based on the past. I'm not saying it as if it's present because it's all love to her. I love her very much. But yeah, I stopped letting her manage me, and I was just on this move where I was rapping. I turned 16. That's when I really started to rap for real, for real. I made one of my first songs. It was called Hellcat, and I just started promoting it really bad. I kept consistently going to the studio. I was secular rapping, and I just love rapping. I've been rapping since I was 12 years old. So I just kept going to the studio, rapping, promoting my music. Um, I dropped it on all platforms. I did photo shoots. I did all different types of stuff, y'all. And I did this by myself at 16. And this is something I could say I'm not proud of what I did. I'm not proud of me secular rapping. I'm not proud of me doing that. I don't have no regrets towards me doing that because I would never learn. But I'm proud of me doing the work by myself. That's what I'm proud of. Me doing the work by myself. So yeah, I was working. I think I was working at Taco Bell, and y'all, Taco Bell pay good. Don't ever underestimate fast food. They pay really good. Like I was like 16 and I was getting paid like almost 1,000 every other week, and they pay really good. And I um dedicated myself into saving up my money, open me a bank account and saving up my money, and investing it into my career. So that's what I was doing around that time. That's all I was doing for real. And I was just so dedicated. Like I wanted to blow up overnight. Like I idolized my career, and you're not supposed to idolize anything. And I idolized my career so bad. And I invested into big interviews like Trash Mag and all this other stuff, and then other platforms started to post me. And then my auntie bought me a Bible, and I seek God. And okay, I'm saying it like I'm jumping from one thing to another. Within that, my auntie bought me a Bible. I didn't read my Bible for a while. Let me make that 100% clear. I didn't read my Bible for a while. Me and my mom was not speaking for a year around this time, okay? Me and my mom wasn't speaking for a year around this time. I was doing my own thing. And I found God, and hold up. I'm sorry, y'all. I just lost. Just lost my what I was gonna say. So y'all, I'm sorry. I just lost my train of thought, but found it. But found it. That's funny. So yeah, so me and my mom wasn't speaking around that time, right? And I wouldn't say I just seek God. I wouldn't say that. My auntie bought me a Bible, and I didn't read it for a while. I had it in the closet, and I was scared to read my Bible. Like, I was just scared to read it. That was something that I did not want to do. So I don't know why. I think it's because I feel like God was gonna judge me. Like, if I read my Bible, like when I read my Bible, He's gonna judge me, or like, yeah, I did not want to read it. I was scared, and like I'll smoke weed and all this stuff. Remember, my sister came over, and I started to read my Bible, and I loved reading my Bible. I fell in love. Excuse me. I fell in love with reading my Bible, and I was smoking and reading my Bible at the time, and I just craved God's word each and every day. I craved His word. I craved His word because it was convicting me of a lot of things going in my life at that moment. And it was just so amazing to me. It was so amazing to me. Like, how everything just aligned up with what I had going on. I felt so in love with Jesus. I felt so in love with His word. And I started going to church, the Faith Center. Shout out to the Faith Center. I love the Faith Center ATL and Tucker. Make sure you check them out because I love them. Started going to church. I was going to church high, and I was falling in love with the word and stuff like that. So at this time, you know, me going to church and me still secular rapping, me still doing certain stuff I shouldn't be doing. I'm not gonna tell the full story on how I stopped secular rapping, y'all. That is just something y'all gonna have to get for a different day, because that is a whole different story by itself. A lot of this stuff is a whole different story by itself. But I remember speaking to the pastor's daughter, Mia. Let me not call her the pastor's daughter, but just to be clear. And we was talking about it, and at the time she was making me feel judged, and so I kind of distanced myself from her. And then I started sinning even more. So I started to smoke, twerk, and all that as soon as I got home, because I just felt like, like that's just, I don't know. I just felt like, no, I did not want to give up secular rapping. Like, it was a lot of stuff that I could give up, but I didn't want to give up that. My mom told me that she had a vision that I was going to be a Christian rapper, and I was going to be a good Christian rapper and stuff. And I'm looking at her like, girl, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. No. And some other stuff happened, y'all. I had dreams. I had dreams that I was in the Illuminati. And this dream was so vivid. Like, I remember everything. And this is a whole different story for a whole different day. So if you want to hear that story, then please, y'all, please let me know, and I'll tell you all the story of how I stopped secular rapping and how I started to Christian rap. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry for all the moving and stuff like that. But if you want to hear that story, let me know. That's a whole different story for a different day. I would love to share with you guys on a different day. So, boom, bye, y'all. I stopped Christian rapping. I mean, rah. I stopped secular rapping, and at that time, I just didn't even want to rap at all. I was like, I'm gonna be a fashion designer. Yeah, so I'm gonna be a fashion designer. And then some other things happened that made me Christian rap. And if you want to hear that story, that's a story for a different day. Cause I'm trying to get to the point here. Yeah, that's a whole different story for a different day. But it's a lot of stuff that I stopped doing. I felt convicted from smoking, and this is before the whole rapping situation. Right in the middle of it. I felt convicted for smoking. I didn't really drink like that, but I stopped drinking. Um, I didn't have sex anymore because I stopped having sex with my ex. So that was something that I stopped doing. But the smoking, the secular rapping, stuff like that, I felt convicted for those things and I stopped doing those. And I noticed myself building a real relationship with God, that I started to fall so much in love with Him and fall so hard within Christ that I surrendered myself to Christ. See me saying that, it's like, oh my God, I surrender myself to Christ. Oh my God, I surrender myself to Christ. Wow, proud of you. But yeah, I surrendered myself to Christ. I surrendered myself to Christ. Wow, I surrendered myself to Christ. I must say, I surrendered myself to Christ. Yeah, I did that. Did that. But He did that. No, God did that. He did that for sure. He did that. Let's give Him the glory. Um, yeah, so I surrendered myself to Christ and I stopped doing these things. I got baptized September 24th, 2023. Best moment to never forget. I was having doubts in my mind and I met this girl. She was just so amazing, and the enemy was really trying to debate between getting baptized and not getting baptized. But thank God I got baptized, and that girl that's like my friend now, I love her so much and I appreciate her so much till this day. And we got baptized together, and it was amazing. So I just stopped doing a lot. I was being more productive. I was at this time I was working at DSW Designer Shoe Warehouse, and yeah, I was being productive. I'll go to work. I'll probably go to Starbucks with my friends, do Bible study, go to Panera Bread, um be at home, just isolate myself from people and all of that type of stuff, good stuff like that. And then, y'all, the enemy was working. My cousin never smokes. My cousin is not a smoker. She does not smoke. This is not something she does, okay? She does not smoke. The enemy, he will try to distract you, and he will try to put you where you were at so you cannot go to where God is trying to take you. And my cousin does not smoke. And I know I shouldn't have been smoking. So after I was baptized, I smoked the blunt. And I knew after that I wasn't gonna smoke anymore. And then I got drunk. I had a hangover. Bad. After that, I didn't drink anymore. And these things that I did was that temptation and those old desires that I had in me arising up, leading me to sinning. And one thing about me is when I do something bad, I'll try to do good. And that's that God in me. Because although I felt bad about it, like, I felt like, God, please forgive me, but I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I stood on my word and I didn't do it anymore. And a lot of times the enemy trying to make me feel like, well, you still did it. Well, this, and well, I'm forgiven. Well, I'm forgiven. So, and I felt conviction hard. Yeah, that baptism water um puts that extra holiness in you. You find God, you become holy, but I don't know, it like put some extra anointing on you. And yeah, so I basically stopped doing that for good, but I fell back into sin. So to make it 100% clear, you all, after you get baptized, you can 100% fall back into sin. Okay? That's from experience. You could 100% fall back into sin, but make it a priority to not, and make your priority to consistently surrender yourself to God, consistently give your life to God, consistently be obedient and disciplined, and have that self control to not fall back into sin. And don't be anywhere that you may feel that temptation, because we cannot trust ourselves to not sin. It is important to not put yourself in that temptation, because it says in the Bible how those desires could creep back up in you. That temptation will lead to sin, and you don't want to sin. So, stay away from that. I was in a relationship at this time, unequally yoked relationship, and God kept telling me to get out this relationship, and I love God so much that I kept trying, but me and this person was not like wanting to cut it off. And either I would start talking to him and he would start talking to me, and then same thing would happen. And I kind of feel bad because although he wasn't a godly person, he was still a good person, and he felt as if I was playing with his feelings a little bit. And so it finally came to the point where I had to cut it off because we were unequally yoked and I was walking in my purpose, and we just cut it off. That is a whole different story for a different day as well. That's a whole different story for a different day as well. But yeah, we just cut it off. Like, I cut it off. Like, it's all love to him. He texted me happy birthday when it was my birthday. It's all love. I still pray for him and stuff like that. I just don't have no ties or no, like, no connection toward him where I'm putting myself in a position that will lead me to falling back into where I was. And so, yeah, the new year came, about January. I started to podcast. Well, no, did I? Yeah, I started to podcast, on Instagram, not on here. I started to do things and elevate my mind more. And so I grew so much, y'all. This is not half of the story, but I just grew and learned so much throughout the years, but specifically by finding Christ, because God just changed me so fast. Like, things that take people at least a year or two to learn within the relationship with Christ, which everybody's journey is different. So don't feel like you have to move fast, because everybody's journey is different. And when it's God's timing, sorry, it was something right there. When it's God's timing, it's going to be his timing, and you're going to move at his timing. And if your timing is not in if your timing is not in 5 months, if your timing is not in 1 or 2 years, then that is okay, because it's God's timing, not yours. And so, yeah, I was just moving so fast. And I'm like, whew, you moving me fast. And a lot of my family that's been Christians before me, I started to do stuff that they weren't doing. So I noticed our relationships weren't on the same path in a way. So I had to kind of like distance myself from them, because they'll still be in the world and into Christ. And it's a learning process. It's a learning process. So it's no judgment towards them. It's all love towards them, and I consistently to pray for them. But it was just so crazy how God was moving me so fast. I was like, oh my goodness, you're moving me so fast. And then I just started to deal with spiritual warfare, and that is a whole different story for a whole different day, y'all. Spiritual warfare is so real, but God is so real. And the enemy, he is defeated through Jesus Christ's precious name, because Jesus Christ's name is so powerful. And I started going to the studio. Like, I started to get like do things of Christ and impact people, lead Bible study, and just have so much wisdom within Christ that I teach people that me and my mom have a great relationship now because of my relationship with God and her relationship with God. And it took God, no matter what relationship it is, God has to be in the center of that relationship. God has to be in the center of that marriage. God has to be in the center of that friendship. God has to be in the center of that relationship. No matter what relationship is, platonic or monogamous, God has to be in the center of that. And like, God is so good. He was just working so much that people start to ask me for advice. My mom asked me for advice more than I asked her for advice. And not saying in a bad way, but it's just so amazing how God just moved my life and worked through me, that everything that I've been through, I had to go through it for a reason to be who I am. God literally told me that. God speaks to me, y'all. It's crazy. He really be speaking to me. He speak to me. And I write it all down in a notebook. But like, I had to go through everything I've been through to be where I am at, and I could walk in my purpose and live in my purpose to impact people in my generation that is 15 or younger and doing these things that I used to do, and that is my age or older and doing stuff that I used to do. And if not, like, learning from people, leading people to Christ. Um, it's just such a blessing, and it's so amazing to be where I'm at now. I'm so grateful to be where I'm at now. And I'm consistently learning, I'm consistently becoming wise, I'm consistently becoming better. But looking back at everything, that me giving all my burdens to Christ, I do not have to worry. I do not have to worry. I do not have to feel that void, because God will fill that void. Woo! Y'all preaching hard. I do not have to feel that void, because God will he will fill that void. He will fulfill that void. He will fill that void, and he will make you fulfilled in him. And it's just so crazy, and it's so amazing what God could do, y'all. A lot of people look at me. First of all, let's make this 100% clear. I want to be real with y'all. People is not finna post bad on Instagram, okay? Don't think you know a person off what they post on Instagram. People aren't gonna show their bad times on Instagram. And at that time, well, now I don't mind showing them now, but sometimes I like my privacy. But at that time, I'm not gonna show y'all the bad parts of me on Instagram. I'm gonna show y'all what I want to show y'all. And at the end of the day, you have to realize people's gonna show you what they want to show you. And a lot of people think that I haven't been through nothing, or, oh, Kimora, you don't understand. No, I understand. And so a lot of times we identify people because of what they post on Instagram, but what's on Instagram is not who they are on the inside. It's what you see on the out. And a lot of people thought that was, I didn't go through nothing, or, oh, I'm from the suburbs. No, I'm not from the suburbs. Stay with my mom in a car. I stay with my mom in a girl's home. I stay with my mom in a hotel a couple of times. No, I'm not. No, I've been through stuff. And that's why I carry myself the way I am now. And it's through Christ. So you're going through something bad. You're like, why all these things are happening to me? Why is this happening to me? God, do you not love me? No. It has to happen. Why not you? You're like, why you? Why not you? Yes, why not you? Because it's going to build you and prepare you to be the person that you are meant to be through Christ, and that is He. That stuff is going to prepare you to be better. That stuff is going to help you succeed in Christ. Your hurt and your trials strengthen you. It makes you want to run to him, because when you're lost, and if you don't know God and you don't know Jesus, you're lost. And that's the realness of it. That's the realness of it, y'all. And I didn't think I was, but now I know I completely was. I was lost. And don't mind my nail. But yeah. And I had to go through all that. I just had to. I had to, and I'm happy that everything had happened. Don't I didn't I still don't like when people look at my life and be like, that's very unfortunate, and that's just horrible that God put you through that. No, I'm happy that it all happened. And one thing for sure, God didn't put me through that. He didn't. Though some stuff, yes, he allowed it, but it says in the Bible God allows trials for them to strengthen us, and that's what it did. 100%, 1,000%. It strengthened me, and me going through that hurt made me want to seek God. Me feeling those voids made me want to seek God. Me hearing about how Jesus feels made me want to seek God. That drove me into finding him and finding his word, and he drew closer to me and he saved me. And now I am the happiest I ever been, because of God and his glory, because of who he is as a father and who he is as a friend. Because of that, because of his word made me better. That made me want to seek God. So don't be scared to seek God. Don't be scared to seek God. And I used to always say, if it's not one thing I don't do in life, I want to go to heaven. I used to always say, I said this while I was sinning. I said, if it's not one thing I don't do in life, I want to go to heaven. And God was like, oh, you want to go to heaven? You want to go to heaven? Let me show you how to go to heaven. Your money can't get you to heaven. The good you do can't get you to heaven. But finding Jesus will lead you to the Father, which is God, and living by the word and having that relationship within Christ will get you to heaven. That's the best thing that has ever happened to me. I must say it is. And I have a lot more to say, y'all, that I probably haven't said on here. A lot more. And I would love for you guys to hear. And if you all are interested in hearing, and if you all want to watch or hear more videos, please join. Please subscribe. Please support me in this platform. Please. Please, 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 please. I would love for you guys to hear from me in the Holy Spirit. And I would love to hear from you all. So thank you for watching this video so much. If you like this video, please let me know. If you have any topics that you would like me to speak on, please let me know, and I would love to. I hope to see you guys and speak to you guys another time. Thank you for hopping in the Innovative Life podcast, and I'll speak to you all later.